One more match to check out this round, friends. So let's jump into it and see what shenanigans are afoot against Eli Kassis and Jonny Guttman. Now, these guys, they're chilling. They've already qualified. They don't have to worry about that. It's all about the top 8 and day 3.
Yeah, usually when you get to these third matches, maybe these are the ones that the players' records is maybe not doing as great or something like that. No, that's not really the case here. These players are doing extremely well. Eli Kassis at 9-2 and Jonny Guttman at 8-3. They're just already qualified for the World Championship, so we haven't seen a ton of them as they quietly just put themselves in a position to make another huge top 8.
Yep. And you know that if they do make the top 8, we'll get to the top 6, I should say, that the players behind them or the players that are just outside the box for those standings, they're going to be rooting for them to get into the top 6, opening up another spot for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Eli Kassis and Luis Scott Vargas are teammates, so it's pretty easy to go for each other on that one. But, you know, I think for this tournament alone, Luis Scott Vargas is also teammates with Jonny Guttman going for him as well.
What the heck? There's a squirrel swarm going on here.
Yeah,
Jonny
wow.
Guttman did pick up the very first game in this matchup. It's a Golgari food mirror, but that's a rodent problem. You might want to call an exterminator.
I was going to say, as far as our last 2 matches go, you cannot leave to go get a beverage or something like that because these games have been over so fast. Now, this is probably going to be a bit of an exception because the food mirrors can go from either, you know, a quick 5-10 minute game to an hour-long game. I have seen both sides of those spectrums there on that.
Ravenous squirrels saying, come on, fight me, fight me.
Ooh.
Will we see a deadly dispute on one of the unblocked ones to kill this goose, grab some cards and a treasure, and just keep them growing? Because, yeah, sure. One of you guys going down, it doesn't change the combat math.
Yeah, and I think Jonny would not have made that block if it wasn't for having Fatal Push to protect this goose. It doesn't seem really worth it enough. But decides to deal with it to make sure he can save Gilded Goose. Eli found a land, luckily off that, but it was a tap land.
Yeah, that's all good. Had the option there to run out the oven or the goose, but wants to keep that treasure around. And here comes the Cauldron Familiar, the big bad of Historic, the little 1/1 kitty cat.
Yeah, I love that you say the big bad, and it is a 1/1 for one, but it really is that powerful, and the synergies are just so high with Cat Oven. We've seen it around for so long.
Yeah, it's definitely a staple, as all good things should be part of a staple diet. Ram the Squirrel getting there for 2 points of damage. Overgrown Tomb, so there is land number 4 for Kassis. He's got a pretty good hand right now. I mean, he's got all the combo pieces he could possibly want. He's got the goose with the trail of crumbs.
Missing
he's got
one.
The food. He just needs... You know, he's got the oven. He just needs the cat.
Yep, exactly. Cauldron Familiar. And I mean, it's kind of the same for Jonny Guttman right now. Jonny really wants a trail of crumbs to be able to kind of keep going, and also an oven to really complete everything here. But Luris in hand, a pretty good advantage already, and just having a decent amount of lands is pretty good as well. So we do see that one Culling Ritual in Eli Kassis' hand. That card is really impressive, and it will make people play very different. It'll make these players play really different in the post-board games, because if you overextend too much, not only are you overextending into a battlefield where you're going to lose everything to the ritual, but you're also feeding the mana, where after Culling Ritual, Eli would just get to play so many things if Jonny just dumped his hand on the battlefield.
It's absolutely brutal if that goes off. So that's kind of the big reset button, but you do get the advantage, as you mentioned, of being able to rebuild if you're the one firing it off.
Yep, absolutely. And then, you know, after you cast Culling Ritual and you rebuild yourself, then you have to worry about if your opponent is going to Culling Ritual and you know, restock again. Oh no. Was that almost a early concession, huh?
You know, don't press that button. Believe! Believe in the cat. The cat's coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so Trail of Crumbs is active. If we decide to go that route here for Kassis, he could just blow up the entire battlefield if he really wanted to. Not a terrible idea right now, but I don't know if it's time for that just yet.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, Eli been known to, if really behind in a game, you know, maybe see the writing on the wall. But even this game does not look really bad for Eli. Maybe a little bit behind at the moment, but definitely in this one.
Yeah, I mean, having Trail of Crumbs is just
Yeah, big
it
advantage.
just sticks you so far ahead. I mean, there's another copy of Oven. Cool, sweet,
Yep.
rad. Need some cats though, please.
Yeah, now it's that tough spot where Ely's just thinking, how far can I overextend? What you really want to overextend your battlefield with is Cauldron Familiar, because you do not
Yeah.
care if that dies, and you can just sacrifice it in response to a Culling ritual. We know with perfect information, and everybody at home knows, that that ritual is not in Jonny Guttman's hands. So, you know, in a perfect world, you'd probably be just firing this off and kind of dumping your hand and hoping they don't top deck it. But as it stands now, decides not to.
Cursebound Witch and Darkboard Pathway revealed there off the Trail of Crumbs, so is feeling a little pinched on land, so wants to get that going. Gilded Goose could be a temporary blocker against this Ravenous Squirrel, so it's like animal violence in this matchup. Just realized that. All these poor little critters just fighting each other.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I thought we already had goats going at it here earlier with Kai and and Paulo and Luis playing each other.
Oh, goodness me. Here comes Trail of Crumbs.
That was a big draw.
For Jonny Guttman. He
Big
can also
play.
make a food with his other Gilded Goose, and the cat's gonna come on back, though. That's just a freebie for him.
Yep, and now all the pieces are in place for Jonny Guttman. You've assembled it, and now it's just how do you best play around Culling Ritual from Eli in case he does have it. We know that he does. But yeah, that's the combo right there. Trail of Crumbs, Cauldron Familiar, Witch's Oven, and Ravenous Squirrel is kind of the cherry on top. You don't really need that one. It just kind of makes some of your draws just really, really over the top. And big advantage here for Jonny.
For sure, for the time being. Now, there is a Lurus in hand for both players, so once this Culling Ritual does get fired off, they will be able to rebuild here. But, you know, before everything goes kaboom, let's dig a little deeper and try and find pieces to rebuild if that's the way that Kassis wants to go and just blow up this board. Oh, hi, kitty. Okay,
There's the
there
cat.
we go.
Let's see if this is the turn where Eli wants to do this. It looks like it is time. Such an incredible mirror breaker of a card. And this is something, you know, when we saw this deck dominate a set championship earlier in this year, the mirror match really wasn't on the radar. We just saw them, you know, going back and forth, just playing really, really grindy games because, well, Culling Ritual was not in the sideboard of those decks because it was pretty much only the team from Japan that was really playing this deck.
Yeah.
Now it became a little bit more of a known quantity, so there's got to be some tech, mostly so that these matches don't go to time every single time.
And that is a big factor in these mirror matches. You know, you got to keep an eye on your clock because if you run out of time and you can't get the game done in like game number 2, game number 3 is going to be a struggle.
Oh,
So good rebuild here from Eli Kassis, Lurus of the Dream Den down with a Cauldron Familiar. There is a Meat Hook Massacre on the other side, though, so these creatures aren't long for this world if Guttman feels like retaliating.
Yep. Yeah, if memory serves me right, I believe it was Riku Kumagai who ended up timing out, you know, fighting for a world spot in that set championship earlier, and that, you know, a little bit of feels bad.
It was actually his opponent, I believe, who was close to timing out, and Kumagai conceded, knowing that
that's right.
His teammate was ahead, yeah.
Yep, that is right.
All right. Phyrexian Tower on the board could get the other oven down just to keep the cycle going. How much does Kassis want to dump on this battlefield?
Yeah, you can use that Phyrexian Tower, just an incredible land in this deck to be able to bring Cauldron Familiar back, sacrifice that last food, and then with that extra mana hanging over, have another Witch's Oven down.
Hey,
and
kitty.
then Eli's just like, okay, please don't kill my things.
Stuff's dying next turn. We know that. That Meat Hook Massacre is just staring down these cats right now.
Yep, Eli probably knows that as well. And while it's not really, you know, it will kill Cauldron Familiar, that's not the biggest deal. Decides to play nothing. That's pretty interesting.
Ooh, hello, Culling Ritual.
Wow. And Eli was definitely played nothing to play around Culling Ritual to not give Jonny that one extra mana. Didn't have it, but drew it. So heads up play there from Eli. I'm not sure we would have been firing that Culling Ritual off anyways from Jonny's perspective.
Yeah, not really working out too well for him in that respect. Eye of the Eye Tyrant is one way to get the damage through pretty nicely and try and target some cats. But let's see which way we're going first and foremost. There's an Outland Liberator, which is great at blowing up annoying enchantments, such as one Meat Hook Massacre.
Yep, absolutely, and really, really strong with Lurrus as well, being able to, for 3 mana, always have a way to deal with your opponent's pesky permanents, which in this matchup is very valuable. And we're also going to be seeing Jonny being the last player to have Lurrus right now, and especially with Culling Ritual. It usually favors, this kind of blink first mentality, where if you are the one who loses your Lurrus first, and then everything goes away, and your opponent has a Lurrus to follow it up, that ends up favoring that player pretty heavily.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because you never think about, the blink first mentality in a freaking food mirror, yet here we are. Unfortunate whiff there for Trail of Crumbs, finding 2 non-permanents, so no presence there.
I don't know if I've ever won a food mirror ever on the ladder, though, so maybe I'm not the specialist to be asking here. I usually get destroyed.
Oh, hang on. There is a way to get Lurrus back if Kassis is playing Takenuma, Abandoned Mire, because
and I
the
usually
channel ability on that brings friends back.
And the stockless usually play 1, double
he's got 2.
checking. Yeah, okay. Impressive.
Okay. Don't think we see one down on the board just yet, but, Cat's going to come back, going to do some pingy things, and we're going to keep digging with Trail of Crumbs here, because... we still have that beside you. Another excellent answer to annoying lands, to permanents on the battlefield. So,
yeah, probably the wrong channel land that Eli was looking for, but still a good card.
It stops Guttman in his tracks for a teeny tiny bit, as we're going to see Lurrus of the Dream Den hit the battlefield and start the rebuild.
Okay, here's Trail. You're going to get that food. Now, Jonny will have the ability to just sack Cauldron Familiar and get this going all over again with Witch's Oven again. You get to do this one more time. And with the Takenuma from Jonny, in case Lurrus does die to, let's say, Meat Hook Massacre or something, it's really all coming up Jonny to, advance to 9-3 and meeting Eli with the same record.
And 9 wins, of course, is just a nice little milestone for the players. They do qualify for the first Pro Tour when that returns next season. So,
how exciting!
Very exciting stuff indeed. As beside you, who endures, is going to get rid of this Trail of Crumbs, at least for the time being.
Yeah, takes out that. We're likely just going to see Lurrus immediately next turn bring it back. But, Eli is just like, well, I got it. What else am I doing besides slowing you down and hoping to draw Meat Hook Massacre to control Lurrus or Takenuma to start rebuilding himself or maybe another trail. But that's really the main thing we're looking for here.
Yep, and he's going to go towards Hive of the Eye Tyrant now. Swinging on in. Lurrus can block. And I wonder
there we
if
go.
he's
Nice
gonna
play
go for it,
there.
but yeah, that's nice. Nabbing that Trail of Crumbs. No block to be had.
Yep.
And we're going to see some flippy flops of night and day now.
Yeah, I mean, that was huge. Now maybe you just go to Ravenous Squirrel and start drawing cards by sacrificing a plant, using that kind of lesser used ability of Ravenous Squirrel, just activating the ability for 3 mana to draw a card. Probably where we're going to be going here. Or if you just want to get aggressive, there's 2 Hive of the Eye Tyrants there in the top left for Jonny Guttman's land. And maybe you just want to try to end this game.
If not, why not? He does have the option to play a Castle Lochthwain as well.
Okay.
Start drawing cards like that. But yeah, I like your idea, says Guttman.
Firing them both up.
Let's go Hive. There's no way to get these cats out the graveyard right now, so Kassis is very much on the back foot at this point. 9 points of damage coming in. Hive of the Eye Tyrant's going to take care of the cats.
Yeah.
Basically leaving Kassis with top decks.
Yeah, Eli's cats are out of the bag there, out of the graveyard, and won't be able to bring those back even if you find anything big. And not the best of draws here. You have a Gilded Goose, a Squirrel to do some, let's say, blocking and then sacrifice it to maybe stay alive. But 2 Hives coming in is already very problematic, and this is not looking good for a reigning set champion here, Eli Kassis.
Not at all. So eating that food too does gain him a life and finds another card, but yeah, this is not looking good with 2 menace creatures.
Yeah. And with Cauldron Familiar coming back, I think this is just it. It doesn't matter if Eli plays that untapped, has the option to sacrifice Gilded Goose to gain one more life, but now we're going to see both Hives coming in, Luras coming in, you know, if we want to do that same play, and then Cauldron Familiar out of the graveyard can deal that last point.
Yeah, I mean, even just getting Meathook Massacre back, or if this is a new one being played here, these guys are going bye-bye.
Yep.
Well, not
Just
bye-bye, but
zero,
when
yep.
things... Yeah, just for 0. When stuff dies this turn now, especially with this cat being cycled through, you got to think this is more than enough here for Jonny Guttman to pick up the win against Kassis.
Oh, for sure. Yep, this one is over.
See? What'd I tell you? Cat. The big bad.
Well, you made a bold prediction that Cat was going to take this one down. You know, you really stuck your neck out on that one, huh?
Oh, I would do it all the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
I love this cat.
I do love this deck. It is definitely what I would have played if I was qualified for this event. I don't know what I would have played in Standard, but I would have for sure played this in Historic.
All right, so the cat doing plenty of damage here. Down to 1, well, down to 2 goes Eli Kassis. The Hive of the Eye Tyrant can jump up here and swinging for 3 points of damage alongside Luras attacking. So this is going to be game over. Good game, says Eli Kassis. Jonny Guttman with a 2-0, improving to 9-3. So congratulations, Jonny.